Yo, listen, there's a lot we can say about our guest that's joining us today on the Morning Hustle. I mean, rapper, philanthropist, businessman, trendsetter, you know what I'm saying? Man of the people, man. And he has a brand new project on the way, and he's been feeding the streets rather nicely. One time for Chance the Rapper.
Thank you, man. Beautiful intro. Thank you.
Yo, I mean, it's real in the field, bro. Like, I mean, like, you have been very consistent. Thanks, even in the most inconsistent of times. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, when the world was locked down, you was still outside, making sure the people was good, making sure, like, your presence was felt, man. How does it feel to be back out there full speed?
It's amazing. It is a huge blessing. It's so crazy. It feels like the pandemic was a long time ago now because we've been outside now for like a year. But it's been awesome to just get back out playing shows, to be in like spaces like my studio or other places and not feel like, the restraints of being on like a slower mode of life and stuff. Right. Like it's back full speed, and I don't know, it's a blessing.
And what's great about you is you're a breath of fresh air. Every time we hear you, it's always the same, newness, that you give.
You,
and during the pandemic, we did see a lot of things change, and that was with social media more so. And you're more of a lyrical artist. So with this TikTok trend and everything, how do you feel like Chance the Rapper fits in?
I feel like I'm naturally, like you said, it's about newness. Like I'm just naturally like a disruptor. Like when you hear my songs or you hear me talk about stuff, I don't know why, but I typically just go off a little bit to the left. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what people love. Like people like uniqueness. People like, stuff that they can also like listen to and take new things out of the more they listen to it, the more they interact with it. And so that's the kind of music I grew up listening to. And that's like, and you could still like, I feel like it's not like TikTok music, quote unquote, is like a thing that's not about lyricism, not about the art. But I think when I make my music, I'm just trying to like, I don't know, I'm trying to say something. Mm-hmm. And yeah, no, I guess that's what keeps it new.
Yeah. So, now, you're a hard artist to identify and say, well, Chance the Rapper is this, he's that. You know what I'm saying? People always have a hard time trying to like, put their finger on what it is because you're a lot of things. Yeah. What do you feel like is the biggest misconception about you?
Biggest misconception? I guess it's just that I'm like, or maybe, I don't know. I guess the assumption that I am like any other rapper, like how you were just saying, like how to peg me or how to be like what type of music I make or what kind of rap I make. I guess like some people maybe assume that I'm similar to other rap. Like in my mind, I'm the only rapper. Like I am the rapper. You know what I'm saying? The way that I write, the way that I execute my music, the way that I've like put together this career has been like a very like, specific way. Yeah. So I feel like, that's why it's probably hard to describe my music because like you said, the songs all sound different and there's a lot of like, I don't know, technicalities and like, intention behind what I be making. So I guess the misconception is that I'm similar to anybody because I'm very much so myself.
Do you still consider yourself, because at one point it was a millennial Christian rapper. Do you still look at yourself?
Did I say I was a millennial
Christian rapper? People have been saying that about you, and you didn't never say it wasn't true, So do you look at yourself as a Christian rapper?
Oh, like as a Christian rapper? Yeah. When you said millennial, that's what I was yeah, I mean, I am Christian and I am a rapper. So I feel like, I think I don't ever like try and like falsely purport that I, make gospel music. That's not my bag or like my talent. I just make music about what I feel to be true. And so like I think I don't even know how many years ago it was now. 6 years ago when I made Coloring Book, I was in a space of being more open about my faith. And so I was like, just like leaning into that, writing stuff like that, working with other people that was like kind of going through that same stuff, like, yay. And, my music will always, I think, reflect the fact that I love God.
Yeah. But I think the fact that you're inspiring, and I think sometimes when you inspire people, they drag that over. Well, he's an inspirational artist. Then from inspirational, then they try to throw those other labels on you because you do inspiring things. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, thanks, man. No, yeah, I feel like I just don't want to take the title of a Christian rapper because all my music definitely not Christian rap. Yeah. So it's like, but I I rock with Jesus. I don't know what to say.
But you mentioned Ye, who obviously is now more of a gospel rapper. There was a video that went around not too long ago when he was having his breakdown. You was one of the first people to really be there and to be a person that made sure he was okay, to check on him. But the video kind of came across as he was rejecting that support, kind of looked like he might have just lost it on everybody and you just so happened to be around. Was that a video that we are just looking at a piece of, and of course people take something and run with it, or does sometimes it get like that when you're around Ye and he's going through certain things?
I think it's both. I feel like obviously it's a video, so it's a clip of a larger moment. Like everybody's like no one's ever gonna get the full story of anything that goes on when you see in a video clip. And yeah, people do take it and run with it, because I saw people put like fake captions under the video to make it look like he was talking about my music or something like that.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, it's like, this is real life. Like, I have real friends and they go through real problems. And, I try and be my most real self, and talk to people the way that I talk to them, like as if they're my friend and not as if they're like anything other than that. And I think like, that video clip, I think kind of exploited a moment that was like you said, it was a genuine moment. Like, I did come out there to check on my friend, and, I got, me and a lot of other people still got love for Ye, but he's a human. He's not perfect. He obviously was going through it at that time, and, stuff happens.
Did that make you back away, or was it?
It made me evaluate my friendship with him for sure, because it was like, I had never been so close to him going through an episode. So it was like, I talked to him after he went through stuff before, and obviously like he came to my wedding. This is somebody that I really like love and like, talk to and stuff. But it did make me just realize like, I got a whole life in Chicago. Like, I got my own stuff that I got to deal with too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know the best way to put it, because it's also like, obviously we're on the radio right now, but like, at the end of the day, I definitely love dude. That's my guy. And, it sucks that sometimes like people can exploit a moment that is a genuine moment.
Absolutely. Do you consider yourself the strong friend?
The strong friend? No, I consider myself a good friend. I try to be a good friend.
That's right.
So who comes through and be's the good friend for you? Like, who are the people who would come through if you was having a moment or you was going through some things that would come through and kind of big you up?
Obviously my friends in Chicago, like my actual people, because I grew up and live in the same place. So like, I got friends from when I was 5 years old, 2 years old.
Wow.
I got like all the same people are like in my life at this point. And then in the industry, Justin Bieber's definitely like, he's like a real good friend.
I see that.
He'll come and like visit you when you're going through stuff. He'll call you just to check in. Like, he's like a real like a strong friend, like you said.
And he's going through it right now. Have you spoken with him?
Yeah, he's doing much better. Like right now, he's staying in a different state than where he lives in right now, and he's like off to himself, but like healing miraculously, and he still like calls me to ask me how I'm doing. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
Like he's a real one for sure.
Ironically, that brings us to your new record, and that's Highs and Lows, because you've been dealing with a lot of highs, a lot of lows when it comes to friends, to everything. Now, what was your inspiration behind this record, and why Joey Bada?
So I actually made that record here in Atlanta
Really?
About a year ago. Yeah, like or not a year ago, maybe like 6 months ago. I was out here for like a Revolt radio thing or like a tech summit or something like that, and we just happened to run into each other, and that's been my boy since 2012. So like, both of our debut projects came out at the same time. We was playing SOBs and Reggie's Rock Club in Chicago around the same time, played like little small college shows together. Like, this been my dude, like one of my really close friends for a long time. And we just ended up in Atlanta at the same time. We wanted to go to the studio, and we went through a bunch of records. And when we got to that beat, which was also produced in Atlanta by my producer, Dex Level, we just kind of like started having conversation over the song, more so than just like saying turn the beat on or off. And then it turned into freestyling, and then we wrote the hook together. Like, it was like a whole conversation about like how we deal with the lows of life, like, and what we consider to be the highs of life. And and kind of like wanted to just examine that from a song standpoint without having it have to be like, you know, I know what the right answer is. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta like, you know, go through your vices. Sometimes you gotta like look at yourself exactly like, what do you want in life? What are you trying to attain, and evaluate it from a truthful perspective rather than just being like, oh, I know what's right and I know what's wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you said it earlier, like, you know, there is only one chance to rap it, and there's no other record out right now that sounds like this record. Video's out right now, and what I gotta say, bro.
Fire video.
Yo, the complex minimalism that you use with all these videos that you've been rolling out, man, like even the other joint, a bar about a bar. Storytelling.
No, yeah.
But in a real ill, like, I don't want to say a Tarantino kind of way, because it's dope, disjointed storytelling that comes together well.
Yeah. No, I said the video thing has been helping me out a lot. Like, I started, like, you know, shooting my own videos about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and like and really getting into cinematography. Like, that's like my main thing. Like camera direction and like, you know, composition, like how you're saying, complex minimalism, like setting up the shot so that it fits in my visual language. I could literally put my words in the space and it breathed the right way. It's like, it's been helping me be more intentional about my music. So like now I'm writing music with a music video in mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, I made a bar about a bar thinking about like how it would look on camera. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the highs and the lows. And so, yeah, video stuff, film stuff is like really reinvigorating.
It was such a dope story that I want to learn more about that, man. And I do care about what his name was. You said it wasn't important, but it was important to me. It was part of the story. Like, with, you know, and some of the greats have taken a story and dragged the narrative, not necessarily drag, but like have carried a narrative across, you know, multiple projects. You know, even with EPMD and the Jane saga. You know, as you continue to do your storytelling, like, is there anything that you want to continue from other projects that maybe you haven't?
Continue from other projects? That's a good question. I think I thought about doing a part 2 of a song recently. Oh, yeah, that wasn't from a project, though. I know what that was. But I feel like each project is usually me in a specific time and space. Like, Dave Chappelle told me, like, albums or comedy specials, they're like yearbook photos. Like, you come and you take a snapshot of your life, and it's, you know, it's how you look at that time and how you feel at that time and what you think at that time and who you are in that time. And it is who you are, but it's who you are in like a small space. And then the next year you come and do another one. So like, I feel like this project that I'm on is very, very different from anything else I've worked on, because it's a lot more disjointed in like, you know, genre and like theme, but it's also like still like a part of one story and one like movement that I'm on, that I feel like we're all on right now. Right. And yeah, I wish I should start doing stuff like that, like telling like a story or doing like a track, part 1, part 2, part 3. But I feel like I'd be so locked in on what I'm, you know, working on in that moment and the aesthetic and the feel and the story, that like it becomes one thing. Like there's still like a chance cinematic universe, like there's still like things that could connect outside of it, but like in terms of like when I'm making one project, I try and make it like its own body of work. You know what I mean?
Another thing I love, Chance, is that you never shy away from your lyrics. And in the videos, we're going to see your lyrics, right? We're going to see everything that you say, especially at a time when mumble rap is like one of the main things. You know, it's hard for people to do that. What gave you the idea to even like display your lyrics during the video?
So I feel like I got the idea from like, there's like the speed reading app that like you could like, it'll basically like show you one word at a time and you can read a book super fast. I've never really used this shit, but I've seen it before. And I basically like tried to like, you know, move that into my art world. Like, I feel like my music is art. Like, my words, like I'm very, you know, careful and deliberate about what I'm saying and even what words I'm choosing to say what I'm trying to say. And I feel like sometimes people are visual learners. Sometimes people need to see not just what word I used or see the sentence in context, but also like, you know, see it rhythmically. You know what I'm saying? Right. Feel like the pockets that I'm in, and like, so like this this new way of like doing my videos where I include all the lyrics in all of them and keep it in one aesthetic is like, I feel like help like, you know, make my art more 3D, like make it like speak to you more. Cause I feel like sometimes if you just, a lot of people, including me, I listen to music for feel, you know, in my first listen is for like tonality, rhythm, like, you know, but, and it's feel, it's like, it's the groove of it. And then the more I listen to it, the more I start to notice lyrics. I feel like a lot of people are like that, you know what I'm saying? So if you're an artist that, you know, my main talent is wordplay. I'm a wordsmith. Like that's what I do. Is like I play with words for a living. And if there's any way to shine light on that, or to like, you know, in any craft, if there's one thing that you're good at, if there's a way to like put that on the pedestal, like you should do that. You know.
You're going to shine a light also on Ghana right now. That's going down on January 6th. There's a festival that you're going to be a part of alongside Vic Mensa.
The Black Star Line Festival.
There we go.
Dope.
So we want to hear all about that. What made you choose Ghana and why January 6th?
Yeah, so I went to Ghana for my first time this year, like in January, right? And I just went to go kick it with Vic. I had never been, and I had no idea like how much information and education I was going to get. So I learned a lot about Ghana. Ghana is the first sub-Saharan African country to gain its independence, like to kick out foreign power. So they got rid of the English in 1957, which means every country after that not only came from a lineage of Ghana, but also like it reminds you how recently all these African countries gained their independence.
Right.
Like, you know, Ghana was the Gold Coast up until the 50s. And right after that, you notice like around the world, there's all these, you know, civil rights movements and revolutions of thought where black people are like gaining liberation. All that's very new, but it came from this guy named Kwame Nkrumah, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. He was the first president of Ghana, and he was an extremely pro-black, pro-global blackness leader, and he kind of put that into the fabric of the country. So to this day, Ghana's the one country that has like an Office of Diasporan Affairs. Like they make it, they like give an easy path to citizenship to black people from all over the world, not just the U.S. Yeah, very pro-black, very pro-connectivity, and the guy Kwame Nkrumah was inspired by Marcus Garvey, the Jamaican American civil rights activist, like that kicked off everything, and he owned and started like a fleet of ships. Like he bought these old government like ocean liners, giant, like bigger than cruise ship boats, and started like this cargo shipping line that went from the U.S. to all the Black Islands to the continent, and like created a network basically from trade, but also like passengers, like people to come check it out and get introduced to these new cultures and these new people that were, you know, that we're all from the same lineage of. And this company basically like created all these jobs. We had black sailors, we had black trade, we had our own network. And in 1922, the U.S. government framed him for mail fraud and deported him, shut down the whole line. But many people from then in 1922 to now in 2022 have been inspired by that Black Star Line, that ship and that power and that network that was created. And Ghana and the president, Kwame Nkrumah, was one of the biggest like people that was inspired the most. So like the Black Star is in their flag. Like they have like I said, just a lot of like connections to blacks around the world, like to everybody that is black. So when I got there, I got a lot of information and got very like, not just like tied in with like people and like creating connections and community, but just interested in the history and what the future could be for black folks. And I think it really comes down to connectivity and being in conversation and creating spaces, concerts, you know, forums.
I want to go. Look, I'm like,
sounds raw.
It's inspiring, especially when you say like, you know, like they got their independence in the 50s.
That's crazy.
And that's not that long ago.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, people think about making history, they think it has to happen 100 years ago.
Right.
Black and white times, right?
Yeah.
But no, like history is still currently
this
being
is
made.
all
man.
recent, man. The civil rights movement in the U.S. has like kicked off right after that. Like so many global movements, like all of us black people, we're very recent in our path to liberation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've been working on this forever, but like all this stuff is very, very recent, and it's going on all around the world. And so we need opportunities to just experience joy, to experience each other, to experience new cultures, to travel. And I feel like it's just time right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Got you. Well, let me pick you up real quick because this I think was 2016. You went on the Magnificent Coloring World Tour.
Mm-hmm.
First show of its kind, Lo. What happened at Sesame Place would have never happened at Kansas tour, bro. It was like a hip hop. Imagine if every show in the children's television workshop got the budget they'd be asking for when they do the telethon. It was a high level hip hop show with animatronics and stuff like that. I've never seen anything like that before in the hip hop space. Parents could bring their kids to the show. I was one of those people that's I can't wait till this is able to be sold or be able to broadcast somewhere. I know you did a small run at AMC.
Yeah.
How can people see this in 2022? And how do you even charge your mind to try to top that? Because
it's I think great ideas come to you in your moments of need. So when I ended up doing that concert, and you're right, it was crazy. I had 60 puppets or something crazy. Big puppets and small ones, and the dude in the mascot suit and all types of stuff. But it was that came from need. So I was obviously, when I did Coloring Book, I was really big on choirs, on big arrangements, big vocal arrangements, and I wanted to bring a choir on the road with me. And man, it's just way too expensive to bring. I don't know how Kanye does it, because he's a billionaire, but
But they said he didn't pay some of those people.
Hey, I don't know. but it was a crazy thing, and I remember just being super going hard trying to figure out how to do it, and it just didn't work. And my last minute idea was I could just pre-record them and have puppets or something sing it. And when you say something like that, something, it's usually a good idea. So I tried it, and yeah, that was one of my most successful tours, and also a cool, like you said, stepping outside the box, trying something. It was very difficult also because it meant the whole show had to be scripted and timed out, and I had certain beats I had to hit. But I also like some of my more stripped down tours too. What was it called? The Be Encouraged tour. I like tours sometimes where it's we put a lot of time in the studio to just making good arrangements. You know what I'm saying? Making the song, the live version of it sound good. Shout out to Peter Cottontail, Nico Segal, and Sticks, my band and my producers. The visual thing is cool, and obviously I'm in the videos and film right now, but sometimes it's if you can get that auditory experience of just show, a good show version of a song, you can't beat that.
Yeah, that's amazing. We've seen recently, there's been a lot of fans that's been breaking down over music. Have you ever, I'm pretty sure you've experienced this with some of your fans, but how's your reaction towards them when they get to crying and stuff like that? How does that make you feel?
I be trying to give them a hug and stuff. I don't know. It depends on the time. A lot of times I can empathize because it's it's you forget when you work in the entertainment industry that you're one of the smallest percentages of the smallest percentages of people. You know what I'm saying? There's so many people in the world that have never met anyone famous or especially not met somebody that they admire. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of, I feel over time you could grow numb to that, but it's when you see somebody genuinely being I never thought I would meet you.
Yeah.
I rock with your stuff. To me, you just live on a TV screen. I got a tattoo, or I got I got a crazy story about how I went to your show or whatever. It's it's just easy to respect that and to empathize and to give love and be open in that.
Have you ever cried recording one of your songs, or is there a song that has ever made you cry?
I'm not really soft. I feel like I'm a very a tough dude, and I just come off I would cry while making my song. But I've never ever come close to crying in the studio. I have laughed a lot in the studio.
Yeah.
That's good.
When I'm recording stuff that I made that I'm I just forgot. I don't know, in between writing it down and getting in the studio, I'm oh, this is a ridiculous thing to say.
But what does it take to make you cry? What was the last thing that really broke you down? Because we all have our moments, right?
What about your wedding when you got married? Did that make you cry?
I think I did cry at my wedding, but I think I cried afterwards because I was so drunk. You know what I'm saying? It was a drunk cry. It was a cry with my homies. Like,
that's hilarious.
no, but I don't know. I don't know the last thing that made me cry. I can't. I feel like once I remember it, I'm gonna start crying. So I'm trying not to access whatever memory that is.
Stay gold, pony boy. Stay gold.
You did step away a minute because you said you want to focus on family. Now, 2 questions. Do you have any more kids in mind to come to the family? And did that affect you with your fans?
I feel like I don't think me having a family can affect my fans. If it did, they not my fans.
Yeah, that's true. Because I feel like a lot of artists say that. Like back in the day, they used to have to hide their family, hide their spouse, and now it's a little bit more open. Even for you to say, "I'm stepping away to focus on my family," it's a different time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think like you are, regardless of what you do at work, you're a human being. You're a person that has like. You have needs. You have like people that you love, people that you got to take care of, and stuff like that. And so, like, the public persona can weigh on you so much because you're so, anywhere you go, like somebody could recognize you from what your job is. But you got to just remember, like, that you're a real person, and that you have a real life. And in terms of kids, you have to ask her. Like, I can't say if I'm having any more kids, but I do want to have a son at some point.
It's fair enough. Now, there's a lot of fans who are actually crying because, like, oh, we thought we was going to get this. We thought we was going to get that. Because you hear all these, like, rumored projects, right? So we know you have a new album coming down the pipeline. Have you gave everybody the name yet?
I could give the name right now.
Okay.
Nah, it's okay.
Come on, man. Come on, bro.
Maybe that's the name of the album. Nah, it's okay. Ooh.
Nah.
I was about to say, he just Jordan Peeled us. But there was like a rumored, collab project between you and you and Childish Gambino.
Okay.
Is that a thing? Are there songs in the tank sitting somewhere that we haven't heard yet?
No, there's songs. Somebody like leaked a bunch of the songs that I did with Donald. So I feel like
they messed it up a little bit.
They messed it up, yeah. So it's like, I think like we'll definitely obviously make more music as time goes on. I think collab project is like something that's like such a taxing thing. Like I like making, who I really like working with, that I gotta work with again on something even bigger is Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Jeremiah is one of the most talented dudes, like, period, of our generation. And it's like I've worked with him a bunch of times, but I feel like me and him at some point got to just make us straight up.
They tried to play him at Versus, but I feel like everybody had an off night that night.
Yeah, Versus is Versus. You know what I'm saying? Jeremiah is Jeremiah, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
his voice just cuts and is so specific.
Yeah, he's a very,
sound.
very intentional and specific tone.
Well, we want to thank you so much for coming and sitting in with us, talking to us, chatting with us. We can sit and talk to you for hours.
Yeah, man.
But we know you got other people to
Shout
sit
out
down
to
and
Money
talk
Long.
to.
Yeah.
Yo, man, celebrate all the things you got going on. The videos are fire. Child of God,
you,
bar by the bar, the highs and lows.
Yo, thank you for playing the highs and the lows. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, man,
we love it.
Thank you so much for sharing your life and your content and always just pushing the bar and giving people hope, man.
I appreciate it.
My man just did a Juneteenth situation, Chicago, 15,000 people showed up. Everything was peaceful.
It was great.
You gotta love it, man.
Shout out for Chi-Town.
With that merch situation looking like, people still want to go to the website.
Yeah, man. Make sure you get all the new pieces in collaboration with different amazing, world-renowned visual artists. I got. Dang, I thought I had the piece on right now. You're gonna have to check it out.
You got the Loewe joint on today.
You gotta check it out on my website, chancestuff.com or shop.chancetherapper.com, something like that.
And your hats are available and everything, because I know at one point they weren't.
No, there's hats. I think the main one, the white and black joint, is not available right now. But there's I think there's some other colorways that are out there right now.
3D print that hat.
We are the Morning Hustle.